Hey everyone, welcome back to another interview. If you're interested in the review itself, where I walk you through the product and everything and the bonuses, you can find it below. Or if you're watching on YouTube, you can find it in the description. Right? What we're going to do here is have a nice little chat with Mark. He's the creator of the product, and he's going to talk. First off, Mark, how are you doing?
I'm good, Tom. Thanks for having me on.
Good to
Good
see
to be
you.
back.
Good
Yeah,
to
it's
see you again.
great to see you again as well. Yeah. It's lovely, these little chats.
Yes, they are lovely. And you're going to talk about Hookum, which is
I
a
am.
strategy that basically it's what I loved about it in the sales page especially. It's very simple, right? Anyone can do it.
Simple
So
stuff.
this is what I
Simple
want to
stuff.
focus on. Tell me, what is it?
Well, Hookum is, I call them hooks, but essentially what they are is PDFs. But the content is something quite unusual. So, everybody's used to sending out promos after promos. You can send them to your list. You might have to build landing pages or websites or anything like that. Well, with Hookum, with the hooks, what it is something that's called a native ad content structure. And what that essentially means is a way of disguising a promo as helpful content. So what I mean by that is people, let's say you targeted a specific niche. It could be any niche whatsoever, but you target a niche so people are interested in specific content. So essentially what you're doing is you're actually giving them what they want. So there's no barriers. You've broken down the barriers straight away, and through a couple of micro commitments, they get to that PDF. They read through this native ad content structure, and by the time they get to the bottom of it, you're kind of selling your product. You're promoting your product through a link. But by the time they actually get to that link, they actually want to click it. Does that make sense?
Yes, it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. So if you could imagine like a sales page, for example, I mean, that's it's copywriting. So, there's a content structure that funnels people to a conclusion there where they want to purchase that product because they've been primed throughout that content. Well, the native ad content structure is very much like that. So if you imagine you're giving these PDFs away, and there's a number of different ways you can do that. And then by the time people have made those tiny little commitments, got to that PDF, they're reading it because they're interested in that particular subject, for example. By the time they get to that link, they're going to be more inclined to actually click that link and buy through your affiliate link or buy your product or click on that CPA, whatever it is, because you primed them through that content. Now, of course, this is something that I came up with a long, long time ago when I was an absolute nobody, when I couldn't make any money online at all. We've spoken before, Tom, and I think I mentioned that I was a plumber here in the UK, and I started off as a part-time niche marketer. Now, this was something that I applied back then, and again, it was kind of more luck than judgment, but it actually worked. It worked really, really well. And it was a way of me kind of getting people to click affiliate links, me to make commission without having to build websites, without having to spend any money. It was just a really simple way of doing it, really simple way of actually making money. And the reason I've kind of put this out now is because I think for a lot of people, a lot of what we do, a lot of what we produce, such as software, training courses, they're very, very difficult for some people to get their head round. So this is kind of my interpretation of a really simple way of actually making money without spending money, if you like. It's something that anybody could grasp inside, minutes, really. You'll understand the whole process, within just a couple of minutes. You'll be able to apply it inside an hour. And like I said, there's a number of different ways of actually using the core element.
Okay, so what is the expected, let's say, budget that they can, to get started with? What do they need? Resources,
so you have
tools.
the core element, which is the hook, which is essentially a PDF, but that can be used in a number of different ways, and it really is down to the user. So if you're on a complete budget and you have little to no money to spend at all, all you'll need to do is distribute them free. So you can use doc sharing platforms, for example. So say you get the keyword right, you're promoting, say, a product on maybe ClickBank, for example. So if you target a specific product name, for example, or something relating to that product name, you can build your hook around that, and you can distribute it through document sharing sites. Now, these document sharing sites, they still have some authority with Google.
Mm-hmm.
So what will happen is if you get the keyword right, or if you use the product name, for example, in many cases, actually, these hooks will rank on Google, so it's organic. You can do this free, as you know. There's no cost to sign up with document sharing sites. So if you wanted to do it without spending any money whatsoever, then you can do that. You can have them up there. They tend to rank for an awful long time. I've got hooks in all kinds of odd niches. I mean, one that springs to mind in the cellulite niche. I think it's still on page one, page two now, and it's been there since 2015. So, just having them up there can produce passive income. I mean, I'm not going to say you're going to get rich off this, and you're not going to get rich off one little PDF up there, but people will find them, and they will click your links, and you will make money from them. And that's just kind of one way of doing it, but that wouldn't cost you anything at all. Alternatively, if you want to use that method, you could go over to Fiverr. You could get somebody to blast to all the document sites. That's going to cost you $5. So I mean, in the sales copy, we've said sort of $5 and 1 hour. So it may take you 1 hour to put a decent hook together. And if you wanted to outsource the blast throughout the document sharing sites, then $5. But that's just one way of actually giving the PDFs away.
Mm-hmm. And those hooks, you actually teach them how to create them, because creating a hook,
yes,
is not the easiest thing, right? So
yes, yeah, that really is the thing. So we've got the course material, which consists of 2 PDFs. So the first one kind of breaks everything down for you and explains the process, how it works. The second PDF is a native ad content structure. So that breaks down each aspect of the content that you need to put into your hooks, and kind of explains how to do it, why it's important. But it can sound not expensive. It can sound complicated, but it's actually very, very easy to do.
I really, really hope so. So about the strategy itself, I want to take it, a little bit, let's say, broader, and focus more about the big picture. Are we talking about who is the person who's really going to benefit from this? Because you got all kinds of people, all kinds of backgrounds, e-com, whatever.
Yeah.
Is it a strategy specifically to people who want to make money, or is it a strategy to people who do all sorts of things online?
It can be it's a pretty broad thing, really, Tom. The reason I came up with it, or the reason I'm putting it out there now, is because I want to help people that are kind of on a budget, maybe working part-time, trying to make it into the business. But essentially, Hookum can be used in kind of any niche, any area online. We actually did a case study last week. So obviously I've got a list, and what we did is we put a hook together. So instead of sending a promo, we sent out the hook to a small segment of one of my lists, and people, they kind of engaged with that particular hook and ended up actually purchasing, and I think it was 260 in profit from that. So if you have, say, a small list, for example, I know a lot of people are into list building, rightly so. So if you have a list, you're going to your conversions are going to be better by giving away that value, and then people are making a decision based on that content structure. More people are going to purchase that way. So if you've got a small list, then it's also a great way of doing it. Again, you can also use hooks to actually to build a list, for example. Plus, with the added benefit of actually making commissions when people actually download your, say, lead magnet, for example. So, a typical lead magnet, you have a squeeze page. So we've also built this into Hookum and explained it. So you could have a squeeze page and your offer is actually a hook. So people go through those micro commitments to actually get your hook, the perceived value, as it were. And then, because they've committed, they're reading through that PDF, and there's a good chance that you're going to make a sale from that as well. So, like a lead magnet with benefits, if you like.
More like a native ad on steroids.
Yeah, well, I mean, people have their own ideas of what a native ad is. But for me, this is like a promo in disguise, if you like.
Yes, I do like it, because you go ahead and you disguise that whatever you're trying to sell is something valuable, which is good because even if they don't buy, they still feel like they get value.
Yes,
right?
exactly.
So this is perfect because you can go ahead and then offer a pop-up, build a list. You can do plenty of things with that while promoting. So it's a very solid idea, and it's basically, by the way, this feels like proper copywriting. So I do hope that you're teaching them how to simply write that effective pieces of copy when finding those hooks.
Yeah, I mean, we've kept it simple because obviously copywriting is a very in-depth structure, but we've broken down like the key elements as you go through, so people will be able to understand. There's also a case study in there for reference, so if people want to sort of take that and look at that and see how we've broken down the different elements, then they can do that and they can see it firsthand.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. Cool. Case studies on the front end.
Yes.
Awesome.
So on the front end, you've got a 47-minute video, which basically explains the different ways of giving away the hooks. So this consists of paid methods, free methods, but everything there is designed with like a newbie marketer in mind. So if you are experienced, if you do have experience in the business, you're going to know how to give these away anyway. But I wanted to sort of cover everybody because, there's an awful lot of people that need that, that extra little bit of income per month, per week. And it's perfect for those. But yeah, really, really easy stuff. So we've got the 47-minute video. There's, there's 2 PDFs. And these are detailed PDFs, but it's really easy to grasp. So one is breaking down the process. The second one is a native ad content structure, which explains how the content should be structured in order to produce a sale. And then we have another PDF, which is the case study itself. Mm-hmm. So people will be able to use that for reference. And I think, I've just put in the 260 case study video as well. So, yeah, that's all in the front end.
Okay, that's all in the front end. And what is the price people are expected to pay?
The price they're expected to pay is just $7.
Really?
Yeah, just $7.
Oh, really? That's really, really low for all that information. So no, seriously, $7.
Yeah, no, I mean, well, like I've kind of discussed here is, I wanted to sort of do something that would enable people that are kind of struggling right now to get started. So $7. I mean, that's the starting price. That will stick around for 3 hours. After that, then the price will start to go up. But it's never going to be that expensive on the front end. Awesome.
No, that's a really good price. I really like it. And okay, so that's what people get, all that stuff for only $7 on the front, during the early bird. Overall, it's not going to get any too expensive. That's what you're saying, right? It's not going to be too expensive. But what happens after the launch is over? What's the scarcity?
After the launch is over, everybody says, oh yeah, it's going to shoot right up. The reality is, it's not going to shoot right up. It will get more expensive. It's going to cost you around $10 after launch. That's all. But it's still real value for money. Most people are going to have $7 to $10 to invest, and everything's in the front end. Yet there are upsells. But what I'm saying here is that everything that you need is in the front end. So if all you've got is $7 in your pocket, then you'll have enough there to actually start applying this method.
Excellent. Awesome. So what are the OTOs? I want to hear about them.
OTO, there's a few, but again, these are additional value. So the first OTO is it's going to cost you just under $20. And for that, what we're doing here is we're giving you all the videos. So if you don't like learning from written content, in this case PDFs, then we've put them all in videos. So there's 5 videos, 100 minutes in total. But as well as that, we've also put the niche aspect in there. So as I mentioned at the beginning, when I started, I was a niche marketer. Niches can be very, very profitable because there's little to no competition. So if you imagine you put one of these hooks out in a specific niche, there's a very good chance that if you were using the doc sharing platforms, for example, you'd rank in the same day. It really is as simple as that. Mm-hmm. So we've got Hookum niche in there as well. So 5 videos and Hookum niche.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And then OTO2.
What's the price on the first one?
Price on the first one is $19.97.
19. Okay, cool.
So okay. 19, just over $19 or just under $20.
Awesome.
Whichever way you want to look at it. OTO2 is a max pack. So I've got to look at this because there's so much in there. So as well as everything else, you've got a bonus archive. So that's 39 bonuses that you can actually build into your hooks. Mm-hmm. Now, in the front end product, I explain how this can actually increase conversions and how to position it so you don't sound like you're trying to sell something. So we're including 39 bonuses that you can use in your hooks. There's 630 images. Now these are royalty-free images that you can also use in your hooks. So instead of searching around for images to fit a certain niche, then you'll have an archive of 630 of them. There's also 5 done-for-you hooks. So these are 5 docs that I've actually used myself. And all you have to do, or all your customers have to do, is drop the affiliate link in there, turn them into a PDF, and then blast them out there. Mm-hmm. So 5 ready-to-go hooks, kind of done for you, and 2 editable templates. So if you're, what I mean by the templates is, if you're using landing pages, squeeze pages, in this case we call them hook pages, we've got 2 editable templates there that you can kind of edit to suit any niche. Mm-hmm. So those are there. And let me see, what else have we got? 6 content packs. Now what we've done here is, if you did want to target niches, there's 1,800 pieces of content in there, which basically you can just drop straight into a hook. Mm-hmm. You can put your affiliate link with them, you can turn them into a PDF, and then you can shoot them out there. So 1,800 pieces of content ready to go. Awesome. And that's it.
And that's it. That's the OTO2.
That's the OTO2. So all of that is in OTO2. That's $37.
Oh, so I see. One thing I do feel about this launch is you're keeping it really, really low price. Everything, whether it's the done for you. And I'll be honest, I would have charged more for such a done-for-you package. I mean, great prices, definitely great prices. And let's be realistic. I want to be honest here. When can people see significant money? Not significant like quit your job, but significant something that will help them actually.
It kind of depends on which way you go with it, Tom. Obviously, the hook is the core element. The actual giving away of the hooks is kind of fluid. So it's it's based on a number of different methods, and you can kind of use it in any way. But if you apply it, if you can send targeted traffic, which we kind of explain, then there's potential to make money. Possibly within a day, but I would say realistically within a week. Now, I'm not going to say to anybody here that you're going to get rich off of one little hook. In order to make substantial money, you would have to do several of these.
Definitely.
But you can make 2-3 sales a week if you get the right hook for the right niche out there. If you already have a small list, then you could make a couple of $100 in a day with a well-placed hook.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so realistically, we're talking here about, obviously we cannot promise anything, right? Not legally, but also just to set the right expectations. But in terms of in your experience, right, you would say that about a week, realistically, if people put in it's important that people understand that they need to take the action, put in the work, whatever you teach, give them all those things. And obviously we know that the OTO2 is going to allow them to get started faster. And actually the OTO1 as well, no?
Well, I mean, OTO1, OTO2. I mean, the OTO2 really is loading everything into one place. So everything you need is going to be in one place. So you've got the content, you've got the images, you've got the done for you element. But OTO1 is the videos. So if you prefer to learn via video, then that's going to be great. But I think the real clincher in OTO1 is the niche aspect. I mean, when we're talking about realistic potential, I'll take you back to, say, 2012, and I started kind of doing this, and I was promoting a skin disorder niche, and what I did was I found the content, I structured it into the native ad kind of content structure, and it was perceived value, and I used Bing. So I used a landing page. I had this hook on the landing page, and I used Bing to send traffic to there. And because it was a niche, clicks were next to nothing, and because people were coming over, they were interested in that solution. They saw this hook, this PDF, as perceived value. They bought it, and 80%, an average of 80% of everybody that downloaded that hook actually purchased the product through my affiliate link.
80% conversions on cold traffic.
Yes. When you say cold traffic, I mean it's essentially targeted because you're using Bing and you're targeting specific keywords. But very easy to do, very cheap to do. And if you wanted to do that, you can start off with say $5 a day and just kind of scale up from that. If you're in niches, for example, bidding on niche keywords is very, very easy to do, and it's very, very cost effective. So yeah, in the space of a very short space of time, I was making probably 2 or 3 sales a day just from that.
Awesome. That sounds awesome. I really hope that people are going to get it and actually take action, because it sounds like an amazing little business plan. And I would go ahead and conclude that there is no limit to this, right? The more people do, the more they will make, right? The more traffic they will get.
Exactly, and they stick around for years. I mean, if you use the organic method, which would you would just use the document sharing sites, then once they're out there, some of them stick around for a long time. So that's just got passive income.
Great. Awesome. Definitely awesome. Okay, Mark. So, and everyone who's still watching at this point, we're 23 minutes in. At this point, I think maybe we have 1, 2 viewers, everyone left. People don't watch these days anything. You know how it is,
I know how it is, yeah.
Yes. Actually, back in the day, it's not that far long ago, but you could get away with 25-minute VSLs, right? And they would convert like crazy. Today, I don't think anyone has the courage to go ahead and record a 25-minute VSL and try to sell something with it, because it's scary. I mean, I wouldn't try.
No, it's attention spans, isn't it? I mean,
yeah.
People get, they're kind of used to everything that's done online. So people are, they're kind of blind to it, and they turn off. The thing with the hooks is people, they make those micro commitments. They want to actually read that PDF, and the way it's structured encourages them to actually purchase, and they don't see themselves as being sold to.
Yes, love it.
Which it breaks down barriers. It's harder and harder to sell stuff online nowadays. But if you can break down that barrier, because people, they don't like to be sold. So if you can break down that barrier, then you're going to find it so much easier to actually make commissions. Plus, you don't have to spend money on websites or anything like that.
It's funny how people love to buy but hate being sold to.
Exactly, yes.
It's that middle, you need to find that balance, and once you find it, you've hit a gold mine.
Yes. But yeah, at the end of the day, this is really, really simple stuff. If you're just starting out, then you can do it. And I can say that with 100% certainty. It really is that simple. If you're experienced, then you can build a number of small income streams for next to nothing and in next to no time.
Awesome. Cool. So, Mark, we're reaching the end of this interview. Once again, for anyone who's watching, you can find the bonuses and all those things that I do personally without Mark below. If you're watching on YouTube or something, you can find it in the description. It's going to be right there. Mark, any final words, any piece of advice you want to give people?
Well, I mean, it's the same advice as I'd always give, but treat anything you do online as a business. If you're just starting out, find something that works, find something that works for you, and apply it. Just keep applying it until you actually get those results. Hookum, really simple stuff, really easy stuff, and it's something that pretty much anybody can do, even if you're not technical at all. That was one of the reasons I started off doing it, to be honest. I mean, I'm hopeless technical. A complete technophobe. So, if I can do it, anybody can do it. So, yeah, easy stuff.
Awesome. All right, Mark. Thank you so much for coming. It's been a pleasure chatting with you. And